Good morning, everybody. How you doing? We're doing pretty good. I got up this morning expecting to see snow, and and I was thoroughly disappointed. I am seeing just a few little flurries now, little tiny fine snow, but I saw my friend Wanda Meeks that lives in Indiana. She already had 4 inches of snow. Then I saw down in Casey County, Lola Brown, they've got snow. And I thought, look at us. I'm in between both of them, and we didn't get any snow. First of all, I want to preface my page right now. This is Kentucky Cooking with Kathy. If you're watching it under anybody else's name other than Kathy Meeks Myers or Kentucky Cooking with Kathy, then it's a fake, it's a scam page, so please report it and do not watch it. Do not give them, because every time you watch it, that's how they get money. So I want you all to be aware of that. We don't want to support people doing illegal things. But anyway, Robert and I are getting ready to make some sweet potato casserole. You wanted something you could make ahead of time and put in the fridge. This will last in the fridge for 4 or 5 days. You can make it 4 or 5 days in advance and put it in a container that can go in the oven. Don't put it in something that can't go back in the oven, because on Thanksgiving Day, when you're cooking your meal, you want to take this out of the refrigerator along with your stuffing you've made in advance, or what I call cornbread dressing, your corn pudding.
Cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce. Well, you don't need to put that in the oven.
Oh.
I'm just talking about things you put in the oven. You can make the cranberry sauce in advance, or you can buy cranberry sauce, whichever you want to do. I'm going to show you how to make homemade. If you want to buy the gel kind or a store-bought kind, that's fine, guys. I'm just going to show you in case you want to. But anyway, then when you take your turkey out of the oven, you can put your corn pudding, you can put your dressing, you can put your sweet potato casserole in there, put it on about 280, 300, and leave it in there for about 30 minutes, and you warm everything up while you're getting other things ready. So see, that's going to save you a lot of time that day. But right now, we're going to make sweet potato casserole. We are using fresh sweet potatoes. Now, I want you to be aware that if you've never cut a sweet potato, you're going to see how hard they are to cut.
That's why I'm cutting them.
I'm not even going to attempt it. Robert's going to cut them up for me. And yes, I am going to tell him how thick to make them, because it makes a difference if you have a thick one and a thin one. Because I've got to cook them enough to make the casserole out of them. And you have to be very careful with them, because sweet potatoes fall apart. You can't boil them fast. You have to boil them very low and low boil, and just barely boiling. You don't want your sweet potatoes to come apart. Then we've got to put them out in a colander and drain them really good, because you don't want wet sweet potatoes to make a casserole with. But Robert's going to show you right now how we're going to do this. And since these are such big sweet potatoes, we're going to cut them in half first and then cut the chunks, okay? And we're going to put them in the kettle, and we'll show you step by step how to do this. We're also going to be making dressing broth today. I'm going to show you how to make the broth that you make your cornbread dressing with. We're going to do it step by step. Now, I've already got cornbread made, but I will show you how to make cornbread too. I'll show you how to do it. It's no big deal if you've never made cornbread. It's easy as pie. But anyway, let's get started on making the sweet potato casserole. Okay, Robert's got the sweet potatoes here, and he's already peeled them. And the best way to peel these is with a peeler, because sweet potatoes are very hard to peel.
No knife, one of these.
A knife, you can do regular potatoes with a knife if you're used to doing it that way. But now these things are hard to peel, so a peeler does work better on them. So the first thing we're going to do is, you want to say hi to your mom and Debbie?
Hi, Debbie. Hi, Mom. Hi, Aunt Sharon. Hi, all you people in Australia, New Zealand,
UK, Canada, Nigeria. Yeah, I was on the Bible study last night, and I was glad to see.
Texas, California.
And I do want to thank everybody that joined in on the Bible study last night. We really had a good Bible study, and I hope it helped somebody. But anyway, right now we're going to cut these sweet potatoes.
You have to use a pretty stout knife, no little tiny knife. And you got to start with the same fingers you started with. So be careful.
Use a sharp knife. Don't try to do this with a dull knife, because then you will get cut.
These things are dense.
Now, we're going to cut these about right there. And you want the other one about the same width.
Why do we cut them all uniform again, Kathy?
Because when we cook them, we want them to get done. We don't want to have part of them done, part of them half raw. Okay,
Tough, boy.
Yep, that's tough. Cut it in half.
I didn't get perfect half.
That's okay. Keep your fingers away from that knife, guys.
Let's try again. That one cut actually easy.
Then lay it over with the flat side down.
Man, gosh, they're like concrete.
Okay.
Now this one's thicker. You want me to cut it again?
No, it's fine. It's
cut
fine.
Cut it in smaller chunks?
No, about the same. It'll still work. Just don't, there you go. Cut the end off that a minute, because that piece is a little thicker than the rest of them. So there you go. Cut it like that. That'll work.
What about this one, in thirds or half?
Cut it in half.
This is the Mac Daddy, baby.
These are big sweet potatoes, and Robert said that Walmart has them on sale for how much, honey?
Don't quote me, 58 cents a pound, but that's our Walmart.
Yeah, that's our Walmart. And if you live around Lawrenceburg or Frankfurt or Versailles or somewhere, and you're close enough and you love sweet potatoes, that's a good deal on sweet potatoes, guys. And these are big, pretty sweet potatoes. You can see how hard a time he's having doing this. So, ladies, be careful. You know, don't cut it on your counter either. These little mats right here, you can buy these at Walmart. I ordered these. No, just cut it the way we've been doing it.
Like that?
Yeah, about like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't cut through your
no, you don't want to whack these.
See, I've been pushing hard and don't know anything.
And they're I think I bought 4 or 5 for $7 or $8, $10. It wasn't much, but I've used this one and that green one there for a long time, and I've got a bunch of new ones down under my counter over there.
Half?
Yeah, about like that. That's okay. Now, this is going to make a fairly big sweet potato casserole. I hadn't planned on getting it hardly this big, but if I got too much, I'll just freeze it. Robert will eat quite a bit of it. He loves sweet potato casserole. And I'm going to do this by putting the flour mixture on top with the brown sugar and pecans and things. If you don't like that, you can take the sweet potato part and then just add miniature marshmallows to it if that's what you like. So you can see we've got a pretty good kettle of sweet potatoes. Now I'm going to put the water right up above these sweet potatoes. I want it to cover them. And then I'm going to bring them to a boil. And I'm going to, once they start to boil, I'm going to turn that temperature down low to where it's just barely boiling. And then I'm going to check these sweet potatoes. When I can insert a fork fairly easy, they're tender, I'm going to take them off because I don't want them cooked to pieces, you know. I just want them tender so I can mash them up. And so we're going to put some water on it. And once they get started boiling, I'll show you what we're talking about. Okay, now I've got the sweet potatoes in the water. And if Robert will let you look, you can see that it's just, the water is just covering the sweet potatoes, you know. Now, I'm going to turn this on high and bring the temperature up, young cooks. I know you older cooks know this stuff, but I'm talking to the younger people that have never done this, and they're learning how to do this. So it'll probably take about, 4 or 5 minutes maybe to get this up to boiling. And once it starts boiling, I'm going to show you how low boil I mean, to cook them at. Because even though sweet potatoes are very, very dense and hard, they cook a lot easier than a white potato, an Irish potato like we cook mashed potatoes out of. These cook really easy. And you don't have to boil these but about maybe, 8-10 minutes. It's not very long. And they cook really easy. So we'll be back in just a minute when this gets up boiling. And then I'm going to show you how to crank it down and just get it just barely boiling. So you don't tear your sweet potatoes all to pieces.
We're hitting pause.
Okay, guys, it's almost boiling. You can look in here and you can see that it's just getting ready to boil. So we're gonna kind of watch it here for a minute. And I got me a fork out here, and that's what I'll check with once they start boiling. Now, if you see places like this on your sweet potatoes, kind of see that little dark spot, that's nothing. It's nothing that, there's nothing wrong. Sweet potatoes just do that. When you cut them up and stuff, all the starch in them, they start turning dark. So, that's nothing to worry about. Don't think you got a bad sweet potato. Okay, you can see it boiling now. And I'm going to give it just another minute or so, about another minute probably. I don't want to let it start boiling hard. But I do want it to at least get to boiling. Which it is right now. So I'm going to turn this down to 3. I know my stove well enough to know that when you put it down on 3, it's still going to boil, but it'll be a low boil. And you can see now that they are boiling. You see it boiling right there, bubbling up. And this is about the way you want them to boil right here. You just barely see the water bubble up. Everyone, you don't want it just bubbling all around. That's boiling too hard. You want just a slow boil like this. Come over here, honey. Let them see what I'm talking about.
How long does it go for like this?
See, you can, just now you'll see just a bubble come up here and there. And now I'm going to put my lid on now. And I'm going to time it for 8 minutes, and then I'm going to check it. And I do this just so I won't forget about it myself. Because if I walk away from it, and this is what I always tell young cooks, don't walk away from your food without having something to make you remember to come back and check it, because that's how you burn things up and you ruin things. So, and it's just being cautious, I didn't have a timer and things when I was young. And, there's a lot of times that I burnt things trying to cook one thing or 2 or 3 things and forget about one of them. So, just don't do that. Okay, my potatoes still got that little low boil, so that's what we want. That's where we want to be. So, in 8 minutes, we'll be back. We'll check them and see how they look. I'll take one out and I'll show you what I'm talking about even. Okay, guys. I let my sweet potatoes boil for 20 minutes. I checked them in between. And since these are bigger chunks of potatoes, it took a little longer for these to cook. If you wanted them to cook quicker, you would cut them in quarters, like where Robert cut them in halves, cut them in quarters and do that. But we're going to take one out here. And I turned the stove off, and I just let them sit there for a minute. But notice how easy the fork goes down in there. See how easy it went down in? That's tender enough. Now, they're not mushy, but they're tender because they're still going to bake in the oven when you make the casserole for about 30-35 minutes. So, right now, I'm going to put these in my colander and drain them. And I'm going to let them sit in the colander for about 10 minutes and get as much of that water drained off as we can. Okay? So...
You want me to do that?
No, just move over there a little bit so I don't hit you with the pan. You might want to turn on a little cold water when you do this. It shouldn't hurt pipes and things, but you never know.
Still snowing, Kathy?
Still flurrying a little bit. Okay, now. Whoops. I was trying to put them out in there easy. I didn't want to. Okay, now, I'm going to leave my kettle just like it is because I'm going to put these back in the kettle. And Robert's going to mash them with a potato masher. And then I'm going to use the mixer and blend them up because I like sweet potatoes, real creamy. So we're going to mash them first with a hand masher like this. Then we're going to take the mixer and mix them up. And we're going to put everything in this kettle that we need to make our sweet potato casserole. You'll be putting some eggs and things like that in it. eggs, brown sugar, a little bit of vanilla. But that's what they look like right now. And we're going to let them sit there for about 10 minutes and drain really good. And I'm going to set this back over here, and we're just going to wait until that's ready. And we will be back in just a few minutes. Okay, guys. We're back, and the potatoes, we've let them drain for about 30 minutes and let them get good and cool. You got to let your potatoes cool down a little bit because we are going to put an egg in this. So we don't want to have scrambled egg right in the middle of the sweet potatoes. If they're too hot, you got to let them cool down. So we're going to, Robert's going to mash these up with the potato masher.
Go.
Yeah, just go ahead and mash them up to where we can then mix them with the mixer.
No. Get back in there, boy.
I can see what you're doing. I mean, just...
There was a lady who was writing on her one video, tilt your camera, we can't see in the bowl. So we're tilting that camera.
Well...
Think it's ready for the mixer or not yet? More?
I try to get it mixed up a little bit, then we blend. Okay, that's enough. Okay, now we're going to go over here and we're going to use the mixer and kind of make them a little smoother.
I wash my hands, people.
Yeah. Go ahead and put that half a stick of butter in if you want to. We need a half a stick of butter. I'll write the recipe down and on a picture of the casserole when we're done, so you don't have to worry about keeping down everything right now.
What else in there?
Okay, and we're going to put a tablespoon of flour.
What kind of flour is this?
A tablespoon of any kind of flour, guys.
That good?
No, that's not a tablespoon, honey. That's
Really?
a tablespoon. Yeah, just kind of sprinkle it around. Don't. Okay, now. 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup.
1/4 of a cup is right there.
Yep. Now, if you don't have maple syrup, you can just use your brown sugar and it'll be fine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I like that little bit of flavor that it gives it. And we're going to use 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar right now.
Light brown sugar.
Yeah. Now, this is for about 4 to 5 cups of mashed potatoes. Honey, you put more than 1/4 of a... Yeah.
I put a little smidgen, sorry.
Yeah. That little smidgen's quite a bit there.
All right.
Just go over to the stove or the counter over there. And we need just a little bit of salt. I'm just going to put the salt in. Because even though it's sweet potatoes, you still need a little salt. Turn your mixer up a little bit.
Give me a second. Trying to get these back down there. Stone it high. Good?
Yeah, good enough, I guess. Take your blades out and beat them against the thing. Get that little bit off of them.
Ah! It's flying everywhere.
Okay, now we're going to set this back over here where we can get the rest of our stuff put in it.
What's next,
Let's
Bob?
see. Now we need
Don't need a
one.
big spoon.
We need 1 egg put in it, and you need to get the cinnamon over there out of the cupboard, and the vanilla, honey. Grab the vanilla. That's lemon. Right there with that little. Yep. And we're going to put a teaspoon of vanilla.
Not egg first?
No, just put your vanilla in.
Don't measure it, just squirt it. Tell me
Just
when.
a little squirt. You know about how.
I don't know nothing.
Okay, that's enough.
Did y'all catch that? I don't know nothing. That's why she's telling me how to do this. I just eat. I don't cook.
Put a little. I got about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. But if you don't like cinnamon, you don't even have to put it in. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I
Don't trust me now.
No, I don't trust him with the open thing on that side. I do the the shaking side, but level, honey, level. There,
Level enough.
Yeah, I guess that's enough.
I'm the one eating this, y'all. Nobody else will eat this.
If you don't like cinnamon, you don't even have to put it in here. This is just the way I've been making it. Yeah, put your egg in. Now, stir everything up good. Let's see, we got sweet potatoes, brown sugar, butter, salt, egg, flour, cinnamon, maple syrup, and vanilla. We've got everything in there that needs to be in there. And we'll look at it and see how dry, because sometimes it just, it varies. So you kind of got to look at your batter and see how dry it looks. If it looks too dry, then you can add a little heavy whipping cream to it and kind of smooth it out a little bit.
We can't use a blender on this part, can we?
No, we don't need to, no.
And the reason I'm saying that is because guys will want to take that shortcut and not do this, use a blender. It ain't all women just watching this cooking thing. What do you think, boss?
I still see egg white not mixed up down there. You just got to really stir it. I mean, you could have done this with the mixer, this part, but you don't want to do it too much because you'll end up with you don't want to beat the egg too much. You just want to mix it in good.
What do you think?
Okay, now, this is what I do. Y'all may think, ugh, that's got a raw egg in it. Doesn't bother me.
She's still alive. Keep stirring it.
Yeah, no, it's fine, I think.
Okay.
I am going to put just a little bit, get the heavy whipping cream or the half and half out there, honey.
Which one?
Right here, honey.
Heavy whipping?
Either one of them. Either one of them will work. And we're going to pour just a little bit.
Tell me when.
Just enough to that's probably enough. Just enough to kind of smooth it out. Because it is just a little thicker than I want it to be. So we don't want to dry it out. And a little heavy whipping cream is good in it too. Okay, now we need to get our stove turned on because we're getting almost down. 350 degrees. Okay, we're going to pause you just a second while I get the dish that I'm going to bake it in out. Okay, guys, I have buttered my baking dish here, and now Robert's going to put the sweet potato batter in there.
Alright, smells good in here. And you can cook. So what is this called again? Sweet potato casserole?
Yeah.
Even if it don't have the marshmallows on top?
Well, the casserole is actually what doesn't have marshmallows on top. But if you don't like this stuff that I'm going to put on top, and you want to make it with marshmallows, then you just make what we just made right here and bake it. And about the last 10 minutes, take it back out, put your miniature marshmallows on top of it, then put it back in the oven until they're kind of melted and browned, however you like them. It's no big deal. I knew you shouldn't have got rid of your spatula yet.
I got another one. What are we doing now, boss?
You gotta smooth it out now.
All right.
Try to get that off the sides there. You don't want that up there like that.
Just smash flat here.
And you don't want it down just flat now. You just kind of want to swirl it around and...
Good enough?
Here. Well,
Switch.
Let me get this one little piece of it. What you want to do, you don't want this to get up on around the top because it's going to burn and make a mess out of make your cleanup a lot harder. So you just And you want to spread it out kind of, but I like to make little divots in mine. I don't like them just flat down like that. Because that way, when you put the crumb mixture on top of it, it kind of...
Kathy, if it's a guy wanting to cook this for his wife, and he ain't got one of these fancy stone bowls, what can he use? One of the disposable tins? Will that work? Or you can't?
Yeah, you can use a tin, but surely his wife has got some kind of dishes.
Okay. I'm just looking out for you guys. Kathy thinks we're all experts here, and we're not.
I don't think anybody's an expert, but you got dishes in the house. Any kind of baking dish, Pyrex, any kind of ovenware, or if you got a metal pan, you can put it in a metal pan. If you got a cornbread pan.
Y'all got to back me up, guys. One of y'all put on there on the comment, yes, we don't have all these fancy bowls.
It's nothing about a fancy bowl, honey.
Alrighty.
Pause it just a second while I get my stuff. Alright, guys, we're getting ready to make the topping for the sweet potato casserole. And you need about a half a cup of flour and maybe another tablespoon. And you want a half a cup of brown sugar. And you want to mix that up a little bit. And the oven is beeping. It's ready to get started. But now, we've got a half a stick of butter melted here to go in it. Because we're going to kind of make this like it's almost like a crisp topping. You could actually use the oatmeal cookie mix if you wanted to do this. If you wanted it, you just didn't want to make this much stuff. But I'm going to put the butter in a little bit at a time and see how much I need. And then I'm going to put in half a cup of pecans or 3/4 of a cup, just depending. Okay, now I'm going to take my hands and kind of mix this up a little bit. You just want it to be kind of crumbly. Now let me get my pecans out here. That's a half a cup of pecans. I've got some that are still kind of big in mine where I make kind of mash my own pecans up because I don't know. I just buy the big containers of the halves and that way it. Now we're going to put just a little bit of cinnamon in this. I'm not going to put too much. You just kind of put it in, you know, about a half teaspoon. Okay, now, I think that's probably got plenty of butter in it right now. So I'm just going to take this extra little bit of butter here and just kind of pour it over the top because it won't hurt it. Just kind of put it around over the top of because we don't really put that much in the batter. Then we're going to take this and sprinkle it over the top. We just about got it. Now I probably will sprinkle that, spread that down just a little bit. Now, we're going to put it in the oven and we're going to bake it for about, let's see, 35 to 45 minutes. Because our potatoes have kind of cooled back down a little bit, so we're going to have to let them warm back up and get it baked. So we're going to put this in the oven and then we'll be back whenever it gets ready. Started. Hey guys. I thought I'd already started this, but evidently I hadn't. But I'm going to let you all see what the sweet potato casserole looks like. I did get it finished, and I'm going to take a picture of it and put the recipe on for you all. So don't worry about trying to keep up with the recipe here. Let me show you this. There's what it looks like. You can see the sweet potato right there, and you can see the stuff on top of it. And but I will take a picture of it and post the recipe. Now, if you don't want the topping on it like this, put the sweet potatoes in your container that you're going to bake it in. Bake it for about 25 to 30 minutes. Take it out. Put your miniature marshmallows on top. Put it back in the oven and, cook it till your marshmallows are brown, however you like them. Usually it doesn't take maybe but about 5 minutes to do it. But I always melted mine, then turned the broiler on and kind of browned it a little bit when I put marshmallows on top of them. But stay tuned because we're getting ready to make the broth for the cornbread dressing. And I use chicken thighs for mine. And I cut up usually one chicken breast and put in there with it, or at least half a chicken breast. Because I like meat in my dressing. I like to put, and chicken works good. And you can make it ahead of time. And I'm making some ahead of time foods for you all so that you don't have to do it all on Thanksgiving Day. But I'll see you on a little bit. Bye.